Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hi there, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So Heather, what are we popping open today?
We're popping open one of our favorites. This is Siberian Fir.
I love this so much.
I do too. It just makes me happy. I think you saw when I opened the bottle, as soon as I opened the bottle and I put it to my nose, I smiled. Like, this just feels good.
Mm-hmm. It feels good, and it reminds me of childhood at Christmas time. So I don't know, like, if our Christmas trees were Siberian fir trees, but we did have real Christmas trees as a kid. And so it like reminds me of the excitement of that as well.
This is very Christmas tree scent. This is very fir oil. Like, you can't miss that this is one of those trees.
Yeah, and it's not like the scented candles that then also have like cinnamon or something else that's not the tree. Like, it's just pure tree.
Yes, and it's lovely by itself, but I also like diffusing this with a variety of different oils,
Same.
especially during the holidays, because I think you can really play around with things that are more in the cinnamon family versus something that's more in the citrus family, and it smells completely different, but both are just really, really lovely. Vanilla works really good with this.
Yeah. Well, and my favorite thing to mix with this, and this is not Christmassy at all, but Siberian fir and grapefruit. It smells so good together. I mean, I say that about every tree oil basically, but this one is my favorite with grapefruit.
Okay, so this oil can be used all three ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. And I told Meg right beforehand, yay, I get to try another oil. I'll let you know how it goes. She told me she wouldn't be doing it. Meg, I'm going to kind of encourage you to. And listen, hear me out for a minute, okay? So the aromatic description on doTERRA's page is green, woody, and fresh. Definitely the woody and fresh. Again, you immediately smell that Christmas tree smell. Green is what I taste. Like, it tastes green. Now, you're probably going to say it tastes a little pine solly. I can see where you would get that too. And if
That's
you
why I don't want to taste it.
But it's not bad at all. I feel like pine needle tea is a thing. Is that a thing?
I think that is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe a Siberian fir tea might not be too bad. I'm not sure why I would use this internally other than for like the calming, grounding effects. But again, I feel like I can get that just as easily by applying it topically or aromatically. So internal use would not be my first choice for this oil. But if it was yours, it's not terrible.
Interesting. Good to know. I mean, I was just recently rereading through the notes I took when I did Symphony of the Cells training, which is like using a ton of essential oils along the spine for medicinal purposes, and really amazing training. But in there, the guy, even though the whole process is topical, but he actually went into a lot of the science of taking essential oils internally. And it was so funny because for each one of the protocols, there's like 8 to 10 oils. And so like after the guy who teaches the program talked about all of the benefits of using things internally, he would literally, with each oil before he'd apply it on the person's back, he was putting drops in his mouth and then applying it. It is like really effective to use essential oils internally. And the caveat I need to say is you need to make sure they're pure. And so that's where doTERRA oils are amazing for this, because they are the only essential oil company that does both internal and external testing, and to third-party testing. And so they have multiple ways to do quality assurance and ensure it is completely pure and safe for you to take internally.
And in case this is the first episode you're ever listening to, the way you can tell with doTERRA oils is it has a supplement facts box on the back. If you don't see that supplement fact box on the back, then it is not safe to take internally. But if that's there, you can. And again, I guess depending on what you're trying to achieve with an oil, putting it on topically or aromatically does work pretty quickly. But oftentimes with the internal uses, pressing them to the roof of your mouth, which is what I did, it's pretty direct. So I think sometimes that ends up being the quickest method of delivery if you are looking to achieve something specific with an oil.
Yeah, I agree. And there are certain oils when I do it that way, like Melissa, I feel it almost instantly.
Yeah. What do you use this oil for primarily?
I use it primarily because it smells good and I like it in my diffuser. But I'm amazed, like as we're prepping for this episode, how many different uses there are for it that I haven't. I mean, maybe at one point I knew this, but I kind of forgot about all of these different ways. Like it's really good for respiratory issues, and so many different ways. Especially just if you're having any type of respiratory issue, I would apply a few drops to your hand, maybe get a carrier oil, and then rub it along the front of your neck and on your chest. It seems like that's going to help almost every type of respiratory issue you can think of.
It is also good for muscles. If you have exercised a lot and have some sore muscles, then it is good to use as a massage oil for that. It shows up in several of the Symphony of the Cells protocols as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also read here that it's good for emotional overwhelm, which I can see that. I feel like every tree oil to some degree would be effective at that because they're so grounding. And so when you are feeling overwhelmed, you feel almost like everything could push you over or knock you over. And so to have something grounding makes you just feel more balanced, more solid. So yeah, this would be amazing for that.
I agree with that. And in the Essential Emotions book, they call this oil the oil of aging in perspective. And one particular line really resonated with me. It says Siberian fir helps ease difficult transitions by encouraging individuals to focus on finding meaning and purpose with each new chapter. I know that, especially if you take into consideration the aging part of it, I know there are a lot of age milestones that some people are either really excited for, or some people are almost a little sad that this time before has come to an end and now they're entering this phase that they, for some reason, equate to bad, midlife or whatever. That, again, the scent of this oil is so nice, but at the same time, if you were to use it, I almost see this one being used almost from a meditation standpoint of kind of taking the time to breathe in the oil and really think about maybe that next age milestone that you're about to hit, the good things that have happened to you so far, and what the positive things that this next milestone could bring too. So I really like that connection, and I think that would be nice way to enter into that next birth milestone too.
I love that. That's such a good idea. And I just yesterday heard on another podcast, somebody was talking about an easy way to build confidence is to write out, I think it was like in 5-year increments, everything that you've accomplished. And so obviously from like 0 to 5, the amount of things that you learned, like learning how to lift up your head, learning how to walk, learning how to feed yourself, maybe even learning how to read, things like that. And while we might be like, yeah, but everybody did that, you did that in your own unique way. And if you can go through your life in these 5-year increments, you build up this huge list of things you've accomplished. And then it gives you the understanding that you can accomplish even more. And so if you are at one of those milestone birthdays, diffuse this oil, go ahead and block off an hour of time to journal through this and like really see everything you've accomplished in all these different phases, build yourself up and know like there's even more you can do. Like that would be such a good combo.
Yes, I really like that. I feel like I'm seeing Siberian fir in a whole new light now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this oil is amazing.
It is. And at the least, you want it around the holidays so that you can just diffuse it in your home. You might not even be somebody that brings a Christmas tree into your home, but you do enjoy the smell of it. Well, guess what? You can just diffuse this oil. You can mix up the combinations and you get that lovely scent and you don't have to deal with the tree. Or you might be somebody that does bring the tree, but you don't like the live trees because of all the needles that fall on the ground. Again, this would be a great one to diffuse. I have done felt ornaments. They sell at the hobby stores a felt gingerbread shaped man or different Christmas trees. Yeah, different things. That felt is so good to absorb some of this oil and just kind of hold it a little bit. You can find clay ornaments, stuff like that. So I have done the Siberian fir and clove and cinnamon and different things on there to be able to just add scent to the tree if we get a tree that's not real one year too.
Didn't you also make like a garland and have it like in your bathroom?
We did, and it was lovely.
It was so cute. The pictures were so cute. So yeah, lots of things you can do with this. And I will say as well, around the holidays, especially if you're going to be around family and there is some type of tension there, diffusing an oil like this is going to be amazing from an emotional standpoint to almost preemptively help everybody feel a little more grounded and not have emotions take over and potentially ruin your family holiday. So it's a great way to sneak in some calmness to your family.
I do love the sneaking in a certain emotional element when I diffuse something and people are just at the mercy of the oil.
Right.
That's a good tip, though. I like that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Siberian fir?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, as you can tell, we both love this oil. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And if you don't have it, definitely go get yourself some Siberian fir, especially because this episode is coming out right before the holiday season. You're not going to regret owning this oil. So thank you so much for listening. We will have a brand new episode for you next Friday.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.